Dalton in Spokane, thanks for calling.
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
I'm an atheist. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I've, just had something on my mind that I've been thinking about, and I wanted to kind of pass it through you, let you see if you had any opinions on my reasoning.
Okay.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of debates with you, especially with apologists, and one thing that it seems like to me is that a lot of apologists love to take something that people think is important, like morality or reason or knowledge, and they hold it hostage, and they say, you guys can't have this without accepting our belief in God.
Right.
And specifically, I feel like you get that a lot in the presuppositionalists, because you see that they say that about knowledge. You can't have knowledge without accepting that there's someone who knows everything, that there's this absolute knowledge that you magically have, and without that, nothing makes sense. But I've seen, I feel like there's been a lot of not a consistent response to that I feel it deserves, and I feel like I've got one, but I don't know if it's already a thing that's out there. So let's kind of lay it out. Would that be all right?
Yeah, we can hit that real quick. I will warn you that when it comes to particularly presuppositional apologetics, most people have had more than their fill, especially after producing some rather lengthy review videos of my debate with Cy, and I've still got Matt Slicks to do too, but go ahead.
Okay, well, basically my, presuppositions say, how do you know anything? Could you be wrong about everything, et cetera, et cetera? The answer I feel is no, because I know that I or some consciousness, something that produces this experience that I call consciousness must exist.
Okay, that's already a mistake.
Okay.
That's basically René Descartes. I think, therefore I am. That's,
exactly.
Sure. And Hobbes pointed out that René's entire argument is itself contingent upon logic being reasonable. Because if, in fact, the logical absolutes aren't true, he has to presuppose the logical absolutes in order to make the argument that he must necessarily exist because he experiences something. So you can't begin with that point. Basically, this gets to what I was pointing out during the debate with Cy, that there are a handful of things that, yes, in fact, we do presuppose them. They work out for us. They seem to allow us to live the life that we experience in a way that is consistent and reliable. And this appeal or need for absolute certainty is, I think, a big red herring. It doesn't matter. We live a life where we understand things probabilistically. We have good reasons to do this based on some assumptions. And what the precepts are doing is saying they have a foundation, the one and only foundation for things like the logical absolutes, and that nobody else can provide. And they don't actually demonstrate either of those points. They don't demonstrate that they have a solution, and they don't demonstrate that nobody else can have. The honest response by saying, I don't have a solution to the problem of hard solipsism. I do, in fact, engage in some presuppositions that the logical absolutes are true, that reality is real, that that my experience of it is accurate, is as close as you can get. And so they're basically taking a problem that philosophers and others have acknowledged. Hey, this is a real problem. We don't seem to have a solution for it, and they're claiming to have a solution and claiming nobody else can without proving either one. It's kind of like they're saying, I mean, I realize we have a solution to Fermat's last theorem now, but before we did, it would be like a handful of preachers saying that they have a proof for Fermat's last theorem, and nobody else can have any proof other than theirs, but they're not going to share theirs with us. That's really kind of what the precepts are doing.
And I remember from one of the debates I saw that Cy was going to respond to the Cartesian discussion, but either was cut off or didn't actually get into it. So I didn't know whether his response was something that was really logical or just something that apologists come up with.
I don't know, but if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say there's an error in it.
Okay. But what I was, I guess, going at is there a word for assumptions that you make because they allow you to act when failing to assume them, or when assuming that they're not true would leave you paralyzed? Because, for instance, if we didn't assume that logic works at a basic level, we wouldn't be able to evaluate anything.
Yeah. What you may be talking about, depending on how you phrase it, is a philosophical concept known as properly basic. I'd recommend you go out and look up properly basic to see what you think. I used to kind of have rejected. A lot of this gets to be a little bit of wordplay that tends to be used to strengthen arguments when it would be much better for us to just acknowledge we don't know.
Right. It just seems like, also the basis of these assumptions, I just lay out a couple of them real quick. The assumption that reality is comprehensible, the assumption that reality is consistent with itself, that it follows the laws of logic, that the problem with hard solipsism is solved by making the assumption that other people have a similar basis to yourself, that other people are analogous to yourself.
Yeah, these are generally just kind of like the practical necessities of, I can't demonstrate the truth of this in the way we would other things. These seem to be true. They seem to be, reliable. They produce consistently reliable results when we assume them, et cetera. So I'd look up properly basic and go from there.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll really appreciate getting the chance to talk to you, and you guys have a great show.
All right, thanks, Dalton.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm glad that didn't turn into a 4-hour conversation about the logical absolutes,
Yes.
because Jen would have killed me.
I would have been stabbing you with this pen.
I believe it. And plus, when I got home, I'd just get an angry glare from the wife. But